and welcome to the Galactic Federation. You're on board the beautiful druid ship Earth 1 as we hover romantically in space. This is a transmission for the 23rd day of the 12th month, 2007, and we're about to cross down there to the planet Earth, catch up with Danny Boy at Earth Sanctuary World Nature Centre. We hope you've been checking out millicom.com as the news flows in steadily from around the world as we observe climate change in all its effects, from oceans and the land, the melting ice poles in the Arctic, and so on and so on. As for now, we'll say good day to Danny. How you doing down there, Danny? You well?
Magnificent, Tommy. Welcome to all our viewers and subscribers and superstars from around the beautiful planet Earth, and indeed the electronic transmissions which are obviously going out wide throughout the galaxy through dimensions and beyond. It's all good, Tommy. How's the view looking from up there in space?
As could be expected, Danny, it is always the duck's nuts when it comes to views of the planet Earth. To see the wonderful planet Earth as a single organism, all 6 billion human beings, 30 million species rotating on one little beautiful rock around that awesome nuclear furnace, the sun. It's as good as it gets for so many species to coexist in one spot. We are on a timeline to 2012. The mission to bring peace and balance to the planet Earth in that time is surely looking good. Despite appearances, we are on an upward spiral. So from the Federation team up here in space, the investigation is a beauty. Nevertheless, our unfoldment is as to plan, and it is looking wonderful at this point in time. We are seeing an enormous unravelling of climate change around the world, particularly in Europe, the Northern Hemisphere, and there's an enormous amount of heating going on, causing fires, causing floods, and we only hope at this point, Danny, that the human consciousness is changing in accordance to this climatic variation, and that we can get some change and transformation happening as quickly as possible. How are we looking down there in the middle of Central Australia, down at the desert there, Danny?
Well, I'm looking outside the window here. I'm in the centre room of the Earth Sanctuary World Nature Centre. I'll give you a wide shot if you like. Hopefully you're picking up that wide shot.
Fantastic.
Look at that, magnificent. Yes, I'm in the central room here at the Earth Sanctuary World Nature Centre, and I'm looking outside the window, and it's blue skies and warm. We're kicked into what we call the Big Bake down here in Central Australia, and it is pretty warm. But as we count down the days to 2012, we will be collecting more and more climate change warnings from around the planet. And just to go through a couple of those warnings which are being picked up for this date, for December 23, there's a large earthquake still occurring right around the planet Earth. Obviously that area of southern Sumatra and Indonesia are still collectively getting the 5s, and there's another 5.8 in Indonesia, and that's close to 6. We've been studying these earthquakes for some time within the brains of the Galactic Federation, and 5.8 is a huge earthquake, and it's a matter of time before one of these Earth movements occurs under a major populated area. So we can only hope that people are preparing as much as they can. Speaking of large earthquakes, there was a 6.4 near the coast of Papua New Guinea, again there in Indonesia. So that area is just phenomenally turbulent. And another large quake for this day is a 6.2, which was in the Aleutian Islands, which is a fairly active area, but again the intensity of those earthquakes are pretty phenomenal. In the Dominican Republic, another medium intensity quake rattled the eastern part of the Dominican Republic on Wednesday at dawn, which was the 4th in 5 days. The tremor is the 5th registered in the island in 11 days, on which the Dominican authorities have yet to issue information. Obviously they're concerned about that, the amount of rattling going on in the Dominican Republic, and it's probably a great concern for governments who are scratching their heads trying to work out exactly what to do. There's more information still coming out of Indonesia and around Malaysia, where the recent onset of king tides into the coastal towns is an indicator of change which is taking place given that warmer seawater also expands. Melting polar ice caps would accentuate the swell in the sea level and the potential havoc on key coastal economic and financial centres. Longer, deeper and bigger floods should come as no surprise as a sister of global warming. Rising global temperatures essentially throws an originally stable water cycle into chaos, and the word we use is disequilibrium. Higher temperatures stretch and overcrowd even the storage capacity of rain clouds in the sky, which result in more frequent and high intensity rainfalls. Huge tides are also being observed off the coast of California. Very high tides are predicted for the Southern California coast, but offshore winds and small waves will lessen the possibility of destructive tidal flooding, the National Weather Service has said. And maybe one of the final stories that we'll talk about today is back in Bangladesh, where hundreds of children, if not more, are now believed to have been orphaned by Cyclone Sidar, which occurred some time ago, only a couple of months, which devastated large parts of Bangladesh's southwestern coast on the 15th of November. And that's just a little over 1 month ago, which is only 6 weeks, but how quickly we forget of these major events which occur around the planet. That particular cyclone took more than 3,000 lives and rendered millions more homeless. Trauma that these children suffered and the bleak future that they face is nearly impossible for others to realise. So Tommy, I'll get back to the craft, and as per normal, more and more climate warnings, and we can only wait for people's consciousness to get with the program and start preparing the future of climate change.
Yeah, great effort there, Danny. We've got a little over 2.5 minutes, so I feel like beaming down there and getting on with the greater language, the greater medium of communications. That would be the language of sound. I feel an inkling for the MILK revolution. If you could set up the necessary arrangements down there at Earth Sanctuary World Nature Centre, Danny, and I'll join you in just a few seconds. And I'm feeling like an MILK lost at sea. Does that sound good to you there, Danny?
Let's do it. I'll kick into some drums. So if you can whiz on down here and warp speed would be nice.